Welcome.
Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Kameron. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the first episode of my new podcast. What do you know about Reddit? Are you familiar?
I consider myself a Reddit head. I spend a lot of time just finding the most vile, disgusting subreddits that I could possibly find, and I just see how much I can tolerate.
What's the most vile subreddit you found?
I'm a big fan of the scat porn one. Or I don't know if fan is the right word. Yeah, scat porn or the TTMI, that time of the month one. It's just a bunch of like
bloody porn.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
So I know a thing or two about Reddit.
All right. Well, I will say that this is a different side of Reddit. Hopefully there will not be any scat porn or any porn of any kind on this episode, at least.
Okay.
We'll see if we get there one day. So I looked for some outlandish stories. Since you're officially a therapist, I wanted to make it like a therapy theme, but it's a lot harder to find like stories about it. So instead, this is just like people who I think need therapy, who are fucked up. So
awesome.
We'll just read these stories and then we can chat about it or something.
I'm excited.
So This one is from 3 months ago. It's from r/am I the asshole?
Okay.
The title is, would I be the asshole if I report a therapist for getting me in a room with my stalker?
No. Anyway, go on.
Okay. I, 29 male, have a stalker named Emily, 30 female, for the past 10 years. I had to get an extensive camera system on my house, take to scanning my car for AirTags every morning and every evening, and keep a voice recorder disguised as a ballpoint pen in my pocket. I was able to get a restraining order last year and have kept a copy of the paperwork in my pocket at all times in case of a public event. Emily has tricked friends I had into setting us up into a blind double date in the past. She has nearly had me thrown out of my own house by the police by posing as my girlfriend. She had me ostracized from a workplace by acting like my girlfriend too. Emily is deeply disturbed and also frighteningly convincing to people. She is insane, and the law seems content to just lock her up for brief periods of time, then let her out repeatedly. I live a life where I'm perpetually on edge waiting for her next stunt. My interest in romantic relationships is completely killed. Last week, I got a call while driving home that my friend Chris was in a bad way. The caller, a woman I haven't heard before, introduced herself as Dr. Taylor. She gave me an address and I headed over as quickly as I could. I do have a friend named Chris who has struggled with alcohol in the past, so I was very worried. I got to the doctor's office and went inside, and yep, Emily. Dr. Taylor said she was here to talk about the issues my girlfriend Christina and I were having. I turned around to walk out the door, and Dr. Taylor shut the door on me and said I could not avoid the conversation anymore. I tore the paper out of my pocket and held them at her face and said in a shaking voice, "That woman is not my girlfriend, she is my stalker." Dr. Taylor immediately apologized, opened the door, and let me out. In the lobby, I called the cops and could hear yelling from the doctor's office between Dr. Taylor and Emily. Cops arrived in 20 minutes, dragging Emily out in handcuffs for once again breaking the restraining order. Dr. Taylor came out and was immediately apologetic. She said she was strict, that Emily was incredibly convincing, all the same shit I've heard from everyone she has tricked in the past. Dr. Taylor has just started her own private practice and begged me not to report her to the board. I talked with a lawyer and am well within my rights to report Dr. Taylor, so this isn't a legal issue. I admit that Emily is extremely convincing, so I can't fault most people for getting tricked by her. But Dr. Taylor, she is supposed to be a psychiatrist. Shouldn't she be more equipped to smell crazy?
Okay. So I'd love to know specifically what he would be reporting her for. Just being a kind of a dummy?
Imprisonment? I don't know. Like, she wouldn't let him leave when he tried to go.
Right. That's not great.
She also did lie on the phone, like, to get him there. Was like, your friend's dying.
I forgot about that.
Which I feel like that's illegal, right? Is that entrapment?
Yeah.
Legal speak. I'm a lawyer.
Something like that. It's definitely not good. You should not do that if you're a therapist. And I wouldn't ever.
Well, thank you so much for clarifying.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know, but like, then again, she asked him, like, please don't. So part of me is like, okay, she literally just started her private practice. She's just a girly.
She asked so nicely.
She said, really, please don't. So I feel like he should be like, okay, you know. Like, Dr. Taylor is not the main perpetrator of this tale.
Yeah. Well, I do think so she's a psychiatrist. And so if she's prescribing Emily medication, wouldn't she be well aware of like her background and would have done like research about her mental health or like being in the hospital or stuff like that? But I guess she was giving a fake name. She's going by Christina.
Right. And psychiatry is so different too. So I don't know exactly what that protocol is. But for therapists, like, if someone just came in wanting to see me, I wouldn't have a way of like looking up their records without a release of information.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, you kind of just believe what, like, the idea is sort of like whatever people bring in is like what they need to be talking about, even if they're like lying to your face, basically. And then hopefully you chip away at that lie eventually.
Yeah. So you as the therapist, would you be the one to suggest that someone comes in, like brings in their partner, or would they have to be the one to suggest that?
So the protocol, typically, what I have learned, also keep in mind, I'm extremely dumb.
I love dumb therapists.
Yeah. So, but I'm not. If, you know, I'm really smart. But if you refer to someone to couples therapy, usually you would refer them to a different therapist because the couple is the client. Like, if you're seeing an individual, they're your client. If you're seeing a couple, they're your client. Like, you're not usually allowed to talk with like one partner when the other one isn't present. Like, you have to put the other partner on all the emails and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's very common for someone to be like, you should bring in your partner. I have heard about it happening, but I don't know like a situation where that would be warranted outside of just saying like, y'all should go to couples therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just so curious I'm just wondering who, well, I guess it was Emily, because that was the whole point. She wanted him there. But like, do you think Emily was like, oh, you call my boyfriend, or the psychiatrist offered it up?
It had to have been her, right? Unless the psychiatrist is super dumb.
So maybe Emily disguised herself as the doctor and called him in, and she told the therapist.
But he said he'd never heard that voice, and I feel like he knows Emily's voice. At this point, she's been stalking him hard.
Unless it's like a split type of situation. Maybe that was Christina. Maybe the part of Emily.
It's her twin.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Things we'll never know.
Or how do we know that we can even trust this 29-year-old male? Like, maybe Emily is just sorry, you've never heard of passion? Like, yearning? Like, why? Yeah. What's wrong with yearning?
Have your loins never quivered?
Not once.
Okay, liar.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like, okay, she has a crush, like.
And you know what they say, a crush is a lack of information. So maybe if he had just sat through that session, she would have learned what she needed to know. And then it would have been over.
Exactly. So he could have literally been done with this, but yeah.
So it's his fault.
That's what I'm hearing.
10 years and you can't get rid of a girl who has a crush on you.
Wow.
I think it's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, this is absolutely foul and terrible.
Right. That's very bad.
And I do think she should actually probably lose her license. I wouldn't want someone that ignorant prescribing me medication personally.
No. especially someone who's like fully been to med school, like yeah. But the thing about like, shouldn't she be able to sniff out crazy? Like, I don't think that's the issue here, that she was fooled by Emily, but she should have taken different steps, even if she did believe her.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I mean, you do want a therapist. Like you said, you want a therapist that does believe you.
Right. That's like the base of it.
Yeah.
You got to believe them.
Yeah. I want them to believe me, but I also don't want them to be stupid.
For sure. Yeah.
Maybe
And
I'm
like,
crazy.
not even believe, but like, you just take what they say as like that's their experience and their like truth, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of decipher as you get to know them, like, is this reality?
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. That makes me wonder how long she was like building that case up with the doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Who's to say?
So I say not the asshole. For
Not
reporting.
an asshole, no. Especially, yeah, he's clearly in distress about this situation.
Right.
And then she was like, where do you think you're going? You know?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Let him out.
You gotta let him out.
Yeah.
You rule day one in therapist school, let him out.
Don't tie him up for sure.
Yeah.
You would be the asshole. Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, next one. On to the next. So this one is originally posted on Am I the Asshole? Cross-posted to r/Am I the Devil. So you kind of already have your answer there,
Right.
but
Let's hear him out.
let's just take a look. Okay. So this title has typos in it and it doesn't really make sense, but it's titled, Am I the Asshole for Saying When Things to My Brother Because He Left Me?
For saying what?
When. For saying when things to my brother because he left me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's probably supposed to say for saying mean things, but who am I to say? I'm no.
Okay. Yeah, I just pretended like I knew what that meant.
Yeah.
But I get it now.
Yeah, of course. Okay. My brother and I go to the same college. I'm 18 and he is 20. I just started here and it was really exciting. I thought we were like best friends and it was so nice being around him and all of his friends. We went out partying this weekend. I saw his girlfriend doing acid and asked if I could do that too. He knew I had never done it before. I knew he had done it before a few times and I wanted to see what it was like. He said I wasn't a kid anymore and it was my decision, so he wouldn't stop me. I had the worst trip of my life. I felt so much anxiety and horror and the whole thing was terrible. He ended up taking me home with a friend. It was nice at first because he stayed with me, but then he left. He left me with one of his friends, but still. He told me later that his girlfriend had a terrible trip and that she called him crying to come pick her up. He left me to go get her. I am so beyond mad at him. Once he explained what happened and I felt better the next morning, I told him that I felt horrible when he left me. I had a panic attack the second he left. He is like a parent to me, and having him there was what I needed, but he left me. I've honestly been yelling at him since about it. He said he has said he was sorry and he wasn't sure what to do. He said he left me with someone he trusts. He would have never left me alone. I yelled at him and said his drug-obsessed girlfriend was more important than his own flesh and blood. I hope she breaks up with him. I hope their relationship goes up in flames and he feels horrible about it. I have felt guilty about what I said. Am I the asshole here? It was deserved, right? Lots to unpack here.
Lots to talk about. So, first thing that jumps out to me is this phenomenon. I've been yapping about this since high school.
Can I take a guess?
Yes.
Enmeshment. No.
More specifically, yes. I guess that's an umbrella for what I'm about to say. But girls with brothers, they're usually a little older, that want to fuck their brothers. I know we're all thinking of someone in our head that we know from high school or something that has a brother that's a little older. She genuinely wants to fuck him.
Yeah.
And that is bone chilling to me.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
Typically, the brother's older. It is typically like an Irish twin sort of situation, like 1 year.
Yeah.
I feel like there does have to be specific criteria. Like it's like one type of girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, isn't my brother like so hot? Or like
He's
it's
the
weird.
cutest.
Or just like it's weird having a hot brother. And in pictures, they're like snuggling. Like his arm is wrapped around her in a way that just is a little unsettling, to say the least.
We could go to the Dating Our Siblings Twitter right now. Exactly. And I think it would be very clear who was dating, not just based off of like how they look, but body language. Like, like that platonic sibling touch that's
right. Ugh. Right. Like there was this girl, I had such a big mouth, but in high school, there's this girl, the girl I'm thinking of, she would like snuggle with her brother. She's like, I can't sleep unless he's like rubbing my back. And I was talking shit about her. And I was like, she wants to fuck her brother bad. Like she wants it bad. And then someone ran over and said, hey, Kameron just said you want to fuck your brother.
Oh my God.
And then of course I do what any sane person would do. When she confronts me, I go, I don't know how she would even conceive of a lie that twisted. I said, she needs help.
I would have said, why are you being so defensive?
Yeah. To this, I mean, at this point in my life, you know, I would have just been like, yeah, sorry. I literally am so stupid and crazy. But at that time, I was just like, that is so vile. My brain couldn't possibly cook something like that up.
How could it?
Right.
You pray every day. Yeah. I knew a girl like that too, but then her brother died. So,
anywho,
I can't talk about it.
I bet she took that really hard.
I bet she was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyways,
we could have done this also about like religious stories. We will have a lot of experience. Next time.
Well, I've got a homophobic one in there.
Oh, love.
So,
not homophobia. I don't love that.
No. Yes.
But I'm looking forward to that. But this girl, she wants to fuck her brother. Honestly, he shouldn't have left her probably. You know? It
is a tough line because she was on acid. It was her first time doing acid. But there was a moment when she really did need him and he helped her and like put her in a safe place. So at that point, like he's kind of done all he can to keep her physically safe. Like emotionally safe is like totally different. And you can't really do that anyways if someone's having a bad trip.
That's true.
So,
and in his mind, he's like, well, someone I trust is with her. And so I could save both people. I could save my girlfriend and my sister.
Yeah.
But also, we don't have both sides of the story. So I feel like, you know, we don't know her. Maybe she like is literally horny for him every day. And he's like, okay, you're fine. Like, you're not even like you're doing fine. You're going to be fine.
I think that's, and I think you can kind of tell that too. Even though we don't have both sides of the story, the way that this is written, I think gives us a lot of context into what type of girl she is. She responded a lot in the comments. So let me...
Oh yeah, I was going to ask. I'm curious what the wider Reddit community has to say.
So I'm reading from the Am I the Devil post, not the original post. So people had copy and pasted the comments. Someone said, "You're the asshole. When he gets married someday, will you still expect him to put you first? This is a weird response, and expecting him to hover and hold your hand when unpleasant stuff happens is bizarre." Okay, and then this is her response, which I think tells you exactly how crazy she actually is. "If he marries the right person, they'll want him to take care of me first. I'm like his baby, and he abandoned me for some fucking girl he could break up with anytime. I'm his family. I'm always going to be in his life." You might not be if you're
Yeah.
acting like that. Any sane woman he marries would, and for the right girl, he would give you up. So,
Right.
or
Also,
he should.
yeah, no, when you, I mean, not girlfriends necessarily, but like when you are like, or yeah, when you're like with someone, that's your like chosen person. I don't know. I feel like they should. Maybe I don't
First.
get it because I don't have siblings, but if I was dating a guy who's like, it'll always be my sister, then you, I'd be like, okay, you literally want to fuck her. Like, stop being weird.
Yeah. I think it depends on like which side of the party is crazy because of course like I've dated someone who's like your family is horrible. They don't want you to be and I'm
Mhm.
like no, I'm staying with my family.
Right.
So I think
obviously.
when someone is being brainwashed by like their family, it might be like kind of hard to like see what actually is right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's like maybe a time, I don't even know. I've never even thought about this, but like a newer-ish relationship, obviously, like your family, you know. But I guess, well, what I
Yeah.
was gonna say that was like your wife is your family, so you like choose her. But then I didn't want to say that like when you get married legally, that's
Yeah.
what makes you.
It kind of is like what is the line? When do you decide, okay,
This is my family now.
yeah, or I'm going to choose this person. Granted, if you don't do it at a certain point, like you're going to lose that person anyway. So you have to make the decision whether or not they are like legally you're married to them.
Because you're gonna see your partner way more than your sister, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, she was 18. And
He's only 20.
Right.
I mean,
but she is just like a child. Like my child sister is on acid for the first time.
yeah, and I get that.
Like, why not
And-
send the friend to the girlfriend
Yeah.
or call one of her friends? Even better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he was probably just like, this is like the current best option. I wonder if he was on acid.
Yeah.
That also.
And for her to call her brother's girlfriend like that little druggy bitch.
Yeah.
Like you're doing the same.
You're
drug,
both
babe.
on the drugs. And someone commented that and she was like, this is what they said. You're victim blaming me. So what if I took drugs? I'm his sister and it's his responsibility to look after me. He left me with some person. He left me when I needed him and he's my best friend. Her
Stop.
best friend, her parent. She's his baby.
I hate everything about this.
Yeah. His partner will not always come first. Okay.
Okay, how are you not victim blaming her then by her own logic? Like,
yeah.
she did the same drug that you did, and all she did was like ask for help, which is the same thing that you're doing. How is it her fault at all?
And you got help. You just didn't get the help you specifically wanted. I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely dig more into the like enmeshment with her brother. That's not
family therapy session.
Yeah, and like where were your parents? Did you not feel like you could like lean on your parents?
Yeah, I do wonder, why is he like a parent to you?
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility for someone only like 2 years older.
Right. Was he actually like a parental figure, or is she just like so obsessed with him and literally wants his penis?
Yeah. I could see that not being healthy, like being that close in age with a sibling and then them also being of the other sex. Like it could also just be like super hostile or just like this, like that weird obsession. So like, what's the balance?
Right. Yeah. Oh, that gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Okay. This one also cross-posted from Am I the Asshole to Am I the Devil? All right. Am I the asshole for naming my baby girl an unconventional name I picked out for myself that my wife did not like?
Yes.
Yes. I, 26 male, and my wife, 32 female, who I will call S in this story, recently just had our first child together. When we initially found out she was pregnant, we were ecstatic up until name suggestions started. You see, me and my wife met over this website called Madness Combat, and there's a character I used to roleplay as named Jeebus. Jebus.
Okay.
Silly, I know. And from our roleplay online is where our love bloomed. Sometimes when I am stressed out or when I need to motivate myself for work, my relationship, or whatever I need, I will hype myself up as Jeebus from Madness Combat. I feel like my wife knows me more as him than my actual self. This is relevant. Once we found out the gender, a baby girl, we brainstormed. She was set on Delilah as it was her late mother's name, whom passed shortly before my daughter's birth. She wanted to immortalize her mother in our child, but that made me uncomfortable as my daughter is her own person and should not have to be forced to have a dead woman's name out of momentary grief. I should say that in a less biased voice. Like, this guy's an asshole.
Momentary grief.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suggested we could find an even ground and combine my old online persona with her mother's name. Jebelilah.
I'm shaking.
So she has parts of both of our families in her.
Not Jebelilah. Please. Please, not Jebelilah.
Can you imagine being mad? Jebelilah!
Jebelilah. I'm disappointed.
I love you, Jebelilah. Anyways, okay.
No.
So she has both of our families in her. Needless to say, she was quite upset by this suggestion.
Yeah.
No shit. Well, recently, she finally delivered, but it was hard. We almost lost her due to a last-minute birthing complication, but thank God both my girls made it out safe. When it came time to the name, I couldn't think of anything else minus Jebelilah since my wife was so upset by my suggestion. We never even talked about the baby's name prior to birth. And as my wife was in a medically induced coma to heal from the complications, I couldn't ask for her intake, so I went with that. This morning, my wife woke up and started crying pure tears of frustration upon hearing what I have done. She called her dad and is now staying over at his house with my newborn. But it feels like if she wanted a different name, she could have told me. But she didn't beforehand. I'm willing to settle on another name, but she doesn't even want to acknowledge I exist at this time.
Okay, so I guess she just didn't know that he would have to put a name. Or I guess she obviously didn't assume that she would be in a coma.
Yeah. Well, from what everyone has said, at least in the US, you don't have to name them right away. You can wait a while. You can even take them home and then name them and come back and stuff. So I don't know. I also think your wife is in a coma and she might die, and she very clearly told you not to name the baby that, and instead of being concerned about her, you just went and named it Jebelilah to kind of get what you wanted. I don't know.
Right. No, he's the worst. Are all the comments saying he's the worst ever?
Yes. Well, people say this is the ugliest name. Blah blah blah.
That's not my takeaway from the story, but yeah.
Do you want to see what
sorry to all the Jebelilahs out there.
Do you want to see what Jeebus, who she's named after, looks like? The character?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'll name a child after that.
Yeah, it's on the internet. And this shit.
Jeebus. Also, you're really gonna name her after your dead mother because you're just sad about it right now.
Will you move the mic slightly? Thanks.
This momentary grief? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, to say that, and also to say that Jeebus is a part of your family and that it's a family name.
Is it? No. It's his online persona? Right?
Yeah. Well, he says it's their love bloomed over that. And also the craziest thing that I got from this was that He says, I feel like my wife knows me more as Jeebus than my actual self. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's odd. That's certainly odd.
Why do you need that persona?
And who is Jeebus? What is his persona? Because if his persona is just like nice and cool, then yeah, just be that.
Yeah, I don't think that it is, given, well, his like little quote about him. I purged the wicked. The impious madness must end. It has gotten out of hand. I shall be the instrument of Armageddon. The end has begun.
Okay, so
Maybe not.
yeah.
I mean, I'm like that he's fighting for a cause, but it's giving
I
a
love
little.
an activist.
It is, but it's giving like incel activism.
For sure.
Incelativism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sucks. He sucks bad.
Do you think she should divorce him? Do you think it's divorce worthy?
Not over the name, but probably over his personality and everything about him. Yeah.
I think I wouldn't even divorce based off of his action.
Yeah.
It would be over the fact that
you are the worst.
Well, I would just. How could I be married to someone that would think naming my kid Jeebus is like a reasonable comparison to naming the kid after my dead mother? Jebelilah.
Yeah. He's done.
Honestly, it's just like the female Jedediah.
Yeah, but arguably worse.
Oh, way worse.
Jebelilah. That is actually so rude to do to your young daughter.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's like the type of name that you introduce yourself to someone. You're like, hi, I'm Jebelilah. And the person's like, oh, hi, wait, sorry. I thought you just said your name's Jebelilah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, no, it is.
Right. Or they just go, and then they go back to their friends and they go, I just met a bitch named Jebelilah. Yeah. That's what I would do.
I mean, at least I feel like it's a safe bully name. Like they're not, what sort of rhyme are you going to get with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you?
Can't think of a single one. Or is he being flamed in the comments?
Let us see. Let me go to the original post. So this is only 21 hours old and there's only 200 comments. You're the asshole. Everyone's saying you're the asshole. You are naming a person, not a pet. You come across as someone who couldn't care less about their wife. Now she knows that if she dies, you wouldn't even respect her enough to follow her last wish of naming your daughter after her mother.
Yeah, damn.
Ouch.
That's so true. Yeah, if she's in a coma, what better gift to give her than like, yeah, let me just do what you wanted.
Right? Because now you're honoring 2 dead people, not just one.
Yeah. So he hated the name Delilah so much. More than Jebelilah?
I think he just wanted to get his way.
Right.
I don't think it was.
No way you despise that more than minus Jebelilah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Asshole.
Yeah. Sucks. Gulags.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let you pick between 2.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my brother's friend from my wedding since they're not a couple? Or would I be the asshole for trying to stop my brother's wedding?
Stop my brother's wedding.
Okay, good one. All right. So this is 3 days old and from r/am I the asshole. Let me just make sure. Okay. Would I be the asshole for trying to stop my brother's wedding? My brother is getting married to his childhood sweetheart soon. I didn't like the whole idea of the wedding because they're practically still kids and it would be dumb for them to get married so young. Our parents, ours and hers, are pretty pissed off about it too, but going along with it anyway because they are worried they might just elope and go to and go no contact otherwise. Also, I'm in love with his fiance. Yeah. We all sort of grew up together, neighbors for 5 years when we were teens, parents, close friends now, etc. And she has always had a big crush on me, but I ignored it because she was a kid and really annoying. But her and my brother were always best friends because they were the same age. We had a bit of a thing when we were like 18/16, but again, I thought she was too young, and also I was dealing with a lot of personal shit at the time, so I ended up pushing her away and making her think I didn't want her because I didn't want to hurt her worse in the long run, even though I kind of did start to really like her. I guess I thought she'd just be there when I was ready or something because she'd always been so obsessed with me. Cue my freaking brother. My freaking brother. Cue my freaking brother riding in on his white horse when I broke things off with her and them getting together, which was always his game plan, I think. Fast forward 4 years, and apparently they're getting married. She was more religious than us, and they've always done the purity ring bullshit. So obviously my brother just got bored of waiting and wants to get married now so he can get laid. I don't think he's good enough for her, and I never did, especially in the light of what I know now. Anyway, my brother got really drunk the other night and told me that when they broke up for a while, I don't know when they broke up, but I remember he was really cut up about it. Last year, he fucked someone else just before they ended up getting back together. And he was going on to me about how bad he felt about it and how he didn't know how she was going to take him back when he did it. And he wished he hadn't. And then in parentheses, he says, whatever, dick. I don't think she knows what he did. And I don't think she would marry him if she knew he'd gone and cheated on her when they were broken up, especially if they're doing the whole no sex before marriage. Would I be the asshole if I told her what he did and told her how I really felt about her and maybe stop the wedding? I really think she's my soulmate and that deep down, she probably wants to be with me too. She just doesn't know I'm still in love with her / still an option, or that he's just a cheat. If I love her too, I should tell her, right? She might want to be with me instead.
There's so many layers to this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do think I can easily say asshole for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the boyfriend also sucks. His brother.
He said, yeah. So yes, but there's two different parts of that, like him fucking someone else, because he said the words like, is he bad for cheating when they were broken up? That's not cheating. Yeah. He has every right to fuck someone else if y'all are broken up. Like, that's true. Even if that would like obviously hurt her. That's not unethical.
Yeah.
But
and by telling her.
Yeah. But the fact that like they're religious and they weren't having sex and they were waiting for marriage, that's really fucked up. That he just went and fucked. And that's what makes me think, yeah, she'd probably call it off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is like, he might tell her. And because technically, like, there is nothing wrong with having sex, like, with someone else if you're broken up, you might just end up hurting her. Like, she would hurt her feelings, but she wouldn't leave him over it because maybe she would feel like it's valid in some way.
Right.
I don't know. Also, who's to say, like, maybe he didn't explicitly say that they were virgins, I don't think. Maybe, like, they have slept with other people and then they just decided to wait till marriage. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, I know he says that they're young, but there's also that possibility that it wouldn't be a deal breaker for her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. From the vibes of this, I feel like probably she at least is a virgin.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would really bug her if he had done that if they were broken up for 1 millisecond. And I agree with you that like there's certain things in relationships that I know that aren't something I would break up over, but it would just make me really sad.
You were saying like there are like things that you wouldn't want to know, but you wouldn't break up over.
Right. Like if it's not, because I don't know, in relationships, I think about myself. Maybe I shouldn't disclose this. this, but like, I don't know, if I am a little like flirty with like someone at work, that doesn't take anything away from like how much I love and respect my partner, and I would never do anything to cross
Right.
like certain lines or boundaries. But like, if he heard that, of course that would hurt his feelings. And like,
Yeah.
but it's not, I know that it's innocent. So vice versa. Like, if there was like something a little flirty or, you know, then like probably better if I just don't know that. Even though if someone presented me with like, I have some information, it would be tell me now. I'd be rapid.
Yeah. 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 I'd want to know about that shit.
Okay.
I'd fucking bite at that shit. That would piss me off though. I'm definitely like not as tame as you are. I'm like, I get pretty jealous.
Well, I would not be tame if I knew. That's the thing. Like, it's more like me protecting myself.
Even the thought of it though, I'm not like, oh, I could live in peace, like knowing that like I can't live in peace. I must know.
But I guess the part of my method
that's better for you. Yeah.
Is just assuming that that's not happening. You know, that's the whole thing to it. Yeah. It's not me acknowledging like
that it's happening.
Right. Like, he probably is, and that's his life, and I don't even know. No, I don't know a thing. Therefore, every time he sees another girl, he's violently vomiting.
Yeah, that's a really healthy way to think of it, actually.
Yeah.
You just changed something for me.
Wow.
I just think the way he's writing it, too, is like, my freaking brother.
Yeah.
And like, and apparently they're getting married. What do you mean apparently? As if you don't know that they've been dating for 4 years.
Right.
Like,
also though, part of me, I don't know if I'm crazy town, is like, she should get the autonomy to decide if she loves him too. She should get all the information before she marries someone.
Yeah.
Because he's probably fucking stupid and like horrible. But what if she loves him too and she would leave?
Yeah.
If she knew that. She should get that opportunity.
That's true.
Not that would be like cool or nice, but better to know than to later figure that out, you know?
Yeah. I think I would be fine with him like going to her and being like, hey, I love you. But I don't think I'd be fine with him first going, hey, he did this. Yeah, he did this. Oh, and I love you.
Yeah.
I think that's where it gets like kind of predatory and like.
And it's very clear that there are motives there.
Right.
He wanted to hurt her like indirectly.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was his whole thing for not dating her. It was like, I don't want to hurt her in the long run.
Ew. And also that, shut up. That I recently had a similar experience. Mm-hmm. And yeah, don't tell me you don't. Again, I get the autonomy to make decisions for my life. I just watched. Have you ever seen? Sorry, my brain. Have you ever seen Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind?
I haven't.
I watched it for the first time like 2 nights ago, and it hit me so hard at the end. This is like a tangent, but at the end, he was like, be with me, I love you, you know, sorry, spoiler. Mm-hmm. Be with me, I love you so much. And she goes, I'm just gonna get bored of you and I'm gonna feel trapped. And he just goes, okay. Like, that is love. I was like, ah! Really good movie, would definitely recommend it. She's like the ultimate what's it called? Manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm a manic pixie dream girl. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But I was thinking about it, and I was like watching it with my boyfriend, and I was waiting for him to say like, okay, literally you are the manic pixie dream girl.
And he didn't?
He didn't say beep.
Fucking asshole.
But whatever. Oh yeah, she was like, I'm gonna get bored of you and I'm just gonna feel trapped and then I'm gonna be done. And he was like, okay, like, I love you that much. Aside from the getting tired of, like, you deserve to be informed with all the information before you like get married. Like, yeah, she was informing him like, hey, this is what's gonna happen. And he was like, okay, fine. There was something better than that I had in my brain, but
I liked it.
Thank you. I think I just really have been wanting to yap about that film.
I haven't seen it. I need to.
We should watch it.
We should.
I'll watch it again. Jim Carrey, handsome.
Whoa, never thought I'd hear that.
Handsome.
Interesting. You can have him.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.
Jim. Hit me up, James. Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet in this movie.
That's hot.
She doesn't do it for me.
Oh.
But she was cool in this movie.
Okay.
But in like Titanic, it's young Leo, like the okay.
Why's my lip? It's been doing that. I don't know why. It's just
He's
quivering.
so hot. And then it's Kate Winslet's old British ass.
Bro. Okay.
Well,
there's someone for everyone.
You're gay, so.
Yeah. So you're pro him telling her?
Kinda. But we're on the same page. I think if it feels that important and he thinks that actually she might love him back, yeah, you should. If it's worth risking your relationship with your brother, because you'll probably never talk to him again. But if you don't give a fuck, then sure.
Yeah.
But if it was pure intentions, he should assess, like, does she actually seem happy with him? Do they seem compatible? Like, take yourself out of it. Because even if she does, like, have love for you still, if she's happy and ready to marry this guy, like, then you should shut your big yapper.
Yeah.
She's happy. If you actually love her, let her go.
Yeah. You love something, set it free.
I've always said that.
And if they truly love you, they'll marry your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, 28 female, need some dating advice with the guy I'm seeing, 29 male. What is the best way to navigate our relationship? There's this guy at my office named Avery. I used to avoid Avery because he has a wife and he's a known cheater around our office. I mean, he gets around and I don't respect cheating. I've never cheated in any relationship, and as someone who has been cheated on, it is selfish. He gets moved to my team, and to my chagrin, we work closely together. During that time, he developed a crush on me, and I denied it because, well, he's a cheater. He told me I was the first woman he ever had feelings for, and he didn't realize that you could feel that way about someone. He told me that his wife is a great person, but he doesn't love her, and that's why he's been cheating. I told him that he's just infatuated with me and to give it a month. Well, a month passed and he still had those feelings, and we started connecting. He was more vulnerable with me than he was with any woman, including his wife.
She's dumb.
My feelings grew and we are now dating. No, you're not. He's married. The complicated part is he's still married and can't get divorced overnight. They have an 8-month-old, so it would be difficult, but in a few months, he can't start the process. In the meantime, how do I navigate this? I've never dated someone in a situation like this before, and we haven't been able to do normal couple things like go out on dates yet. We have date nights, but it's at my apartment. Any support and advice would be helpful.
Oh my gosh. I'm really glad I chose this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
The way that this is written, like it is totally normal, is I think the worst part there is like she does not flinch at all at like saying that he's married and he has a baby. It's like no skin off of her back.
Right. I was just thinking about like, what the fuck would I even do if I got a client that comes in is like, I'm sad because me and my boyfriend can't go on date nights because his wife and baby will find out. What?
Right.
What do I do for you? What could I possibly do for you?
Can you help me plan a romantic at-home date?
Like, no. No. What would I even do? What do you do?
Or like someone coming in and being like, my boyfriend's wife is like such a cockblock.
Yeah, she's such a bitch. She's always around with their stupid little baby.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's so insane.
I think she's a dumbass.
That's so
there's no nice way to say that, but like how it's naive to think that like he has never had feelings for anyone like he does you, yet he married another woman. And he
got down on one knee, proposed, and got married to someone else.
And he's still with her. If he really felt like that, why even like despite everything, if he just like madly head over heels and he was in an unhappy situation and he met someone that like he loved so much, he would leave. You would leave.
Or even if I wouldn't like it if I was even what prompted someone to leave, just because you like me better than what you're with.
Right,
like
yeah.
if you're so unhappy, you would leave despite meeting anyone.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Yeah. Like why you just like me better? Like that doesn't, I don't like that.
And you're not special because he's a known cheater. It's not like the thing that you actually have is like this special connection.
Time.
It's not a unique thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like he just like, I met you and that's what made me like cheat on my wife. Like if you hate her so much to cheat on her, you should have just left. And if you've cheated a bunch, then you obviously don't care about me that much.
Yeah.
She's just the one dumbass that like
has
agreed to be his girlfriend
for like this long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's so funny. The complicated part is he's married.
That's so complicated.
And then she's just like, and he has an 8-month-old.
Right. His baby is really getting in the way.
Freaking baby. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's vile. Kids. She is not a girl's girl. I feel safe to say that.
Yep.
And it's even worse than someone like this being like, it would be better if she would just be like, his wife is really a bitch and she's ugly. Like that would be more palatable to me than her being like, she seems really nice and she's so beautiful, but he just loves me.
And he does love her.
Right. Gross. If I'm that wife, I'm going, hey, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Call me an ugly, dumb bitch before you're like, you are so beautiful and nice.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's weirder. And then it becomes like it becomes like this weird, like, did you want the guy or did you just want to be the girl that had the guy?
Yeah. Like, it's because he's a challenge and you feel special. It's not, there's nothing special about him.
Yeah.
But like, oh, he has a wife and he still can't resist me. No, he just is like a sex addict.
Yeah, it literally, yeah.
And his wife just had a fucking baby.
That's what's so gross is like, how long had they been together? They've been together a while now, at least. And so how old was the baby? Obviously he cheated on her like throughout it all. And she clearly knew about the kid. That's such a vulnerable time for a woman, like when your body changes so much and you're like adjusting to your like identity of motherhood and the pressure and then your husband has the audacity to go, you're not having sex with me for this small portion of our life because something just came out of your big hole and it's trying to shrink up again. I'm going to go fuck someone else. I
need to fuck someone else. Are you kidding me? Like, that's actually the devil. Like, that's the most evil thing I could think of.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the worst person here is definitely the guy. You know what? No. Fuck that no sin. Like all sins are equal. That's not true.
Yeah.
I think he has like higher score game points in sin than she
absolutely.
does.
Well, this girl, the poster is just unfortunately clinically stupid.
Yeah.
But she's not married. She didn't say any vows. Like but if she thinks that breaking any sort of vows, even if she didn't make it, is okay. Sure. Then no, she sucks and is horrible also. But talking about all sins not being equal, like he's the one that took vows. She didn't.
That's true.
Make any promises to this woman.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't morally, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he sucks the worst.
I agree. And just like knowing that you're bringing in a child into the world and like fucking around and like fucking with its life and before it's even born. Messed up.
And just as a woman, like I don't understand not being able to put yourself in her shoes for 1 second. Yeah. Like girls that like knowingly like fuck guys with wives. I mean, this is not an unpopular opinion, but like I just don't understand. They have to be actively trying not to think about her.
Right. Am I the asshole for uninviting my brother's quote friend, uninviting my brother's friend from my wedding since they're not a couple? / am I the asshole? So this is from 3 days ago. My brother is very private, 21 years old. 2 years ago, this friend of his suddenly became a significant part of his life. They lived together for a lot of the year. My brother always talks about him when they're not together, and his friend is always hanging around for the rest of the year when he's living with our parents, even though he lives pretty far away. Everyone thinks they're a couple. My mom asked me about it after my sister had mentioned it to her. She and I already assumed. My brother hasn't had many girlfriends, and his friends seem gay. To me, the ultimate proof was that his phone wallpaper used to be a pic of them together, and when my mom asked me about where they were in it, he acted cagey and changed it. They're very affectionate, and my brother acts like a different person with him. I'm so paranoid that it's like not gonna. Our parents include his friend like they do my fiance and our younger sister's boyfriend. Mom is worried that he hasn't come out because he feels unaccepted, so she's made an effort to be inclusive. I personally don't believe they're together anymore after my brother told me a story about a bad date he went on. I like his friend and think he's nice, but he's a lot. He's always shown up on time every time he's invited, and he's loud and chatty. I know he wouldn't mix well with my fiance's more traditional family on his personality. Her parents are paying for the wedding too. We've invited family only with partners counting, and we invited my brother and his friend together under the impression that the friend counted under, quote, partner. It's very feasible for us to rescind our invitation to him, so we did. And I just told my brother it's not fair to other guests that can't just grab a mate and bring them too. His friend doesn't work, so it's not like we imposed. My brother asked why I couldn't just make an exception for him, and I said that wasn't fair. He asked if teenagers dating counted as partners because my sister's boyfriend is invited, and he told me to just admit I don't like his friend, which isn't true. I made the mistake of saying that he wouldn't have had a good time with my fiance's family anyway, which made my brother say we have ulterior motives to uninviting him. I get friendships are important, and I don't mean to devalue that, but we're not having friends as plus ones, and my fiance and I don't feel like we're losing anything by not having him. My fiance even says it's a relief because of her family. But I do feel bad for my brother, and I feel like this is casting a shadow over things when I do ultimately like his friend. My mom and sister have been treating me like I'm the devil for this because they believe they're in a relationship and I'm being unfair to him. I'd feel less bad if I didn't invite him at all. But the more I think about it, going out of my way to rescind the invitation seems like a shitty thing to do. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, girl.
Yup. You suck.
Yeah. It's very clear that you are homophobic.
Yeah. Also, like, when it comes to your immediate family and like a wedding, I think that even if it's not his partner and he wants like the closest that is the person that is closest in his life, romantic or platonic, like at that wedding, I think he should be allowed to have that one person there.
Right.
If everyone else gets to have like their person of choice, like why does it have to be romantic?
If you get a +1, it doesn't specify that you have to be fucking them.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't say it has to be romantic.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's dumb and she sucks.
I think it's really telling when he says like, he's he always shows up when he's invited to. What do you expect? If you invite someone, like, that doesn't make him a bad person.
He was invited to the wedding,
and then they rescinded it.
And why was he invited in the first place?
Because I think his parents and sister assume that they're in a romantic relationship, and because they hang out so much, I think the family was just like, why wouldn't that person be invited? And so he was invited. And then
but even if he wasn't invited, wouldn't the brother get a +1? I guess not, like, all weddings.
Yeah, on this one they said that family who had partners got +1s.
Right. So, yeah, my brain is not working, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, that's really shitty.
Yeah.
Like, whether it was like gay or straight, if it was like a girl, like, that's shitty to rescind an invitation at all. Like, that's tacky.
Yeah, that's like so ballsy. Why wouldn't you just be okay, like, biting the bullet for like an $80 plate for one person that you invited? Right. And it would be so rude.
And it's your brother. It's not like it's your friend's partner or friend's
like
friend.
Your distant friend's friend.
Yeah. It's your brother. Like, just let him.
Yeah. Amazing.
That is so bad. That's so sad.
Yeah. And especially when he's saying, like, oh, our mom is like trying to include his friend more because she's worried that he feels unaccepted. And then you go and do something like that. Yeah, he's definitely going to feel unaccepted if they are in a romantic relationship.
Right. And that brother is going to end up cutting you off forever.
Yeah. Also, like, saying he's like chatty and loud, the friend, that also like seems homophobic.
Yeah.
In a way.
For sure.
Like,
he just means, like, he like
negative descriptors.
Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He acts gay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's trying to say that without saying it.
Yeah. Asshole.
Yeah. He's the worst.
From r/AITA_WIBTA_public. Am I the asshole for having an allergic reaction at a dinner party? My friend from work, well, we'll call her Amy, uninvited my husband and me, as well invited. My friend from work, I'm thinking about the last.
Yeah.
The last, starting over. My friend from work, we'll call her Amy, invited my husband and me, as well as a few of her neighbors, over to her house for a potluck last night. It wasn't supposed to be anything big, just a nice get together, but Amy insisted on making dessert. She's an accomplished baker and has even been to pastry school, so none of us were complaining. We got through the evening just fine, and I would actually say that I made a few friends, but by the time dessert rolled around, I knew there would be a problem. Amy had baked a wonderful cherry pie, but I've never tolerated cherries well. I assume it's an allergy, but I've never been formally tested, so I don't know. I really like the taste of cherries, though, and I needed something sweet after the meal.
Me.
Just a little sweet treat.
He said, Your Honor, I needed a sweet treat.
My tooth was just aching.
So sweet.
At the time, I thought it would look a bit weird of me to turn it down, especially because I've raved about Amy's desserts before. But now I'm wondering if this was the right move. For the first few minutes after eating, everything was fine. But soon I felt quite warm in the face when I went to the bathroom and saw myself in the mirror. There was some slight swelling around my eyes, but I don't think too much of it. After all, my previous bad experience with cherries involved gastrointestinal symptoms, so the puffiness was new. When I returned to the table, though, several of the guests began staring at me. They asked me if I was okay, and I assured them that I was. Soon, things got worse, though, and even my tongue started to swell. At this point, I took some Benadryl out of my purse and swallowed it to prevent the reaction from getting worse. I didn't want to be any more of a distraction than I already was, but unfortunately, I couldn't participate in the conversation anymore because my big tongue didn't allow me to speak properly. The Benadryl eventually did its job, but it made me really tired. I excused myself to the living room where I fell asleep on the couch. My husband woke me up when it was time to go, and he seemed pretty embarrassed. In fact, he would barely speak to me on the way home. When we got home, he finally broke his silence and said that I made a fool of us. He continued that if I knew I had a cherry allergy, should I have simply refused the dessert? I couldn't believe his attitude. Amy practically forced the pie on us, and she didn't list the ingredients beforehand. In fact, she never asked about food allergies.
Oh my gosh.
This feels like a Tim Robbins skit. Like,
I think ask me.
I didn't know.
In cherry pie, like,
bitch, you know it's cherries.
Yeah.
What?
She didn't give us an ingredient list.
My husband said that she would have understood if I said no, and that I look like a swollen mess at the table. Things have been really tense between us all day, and I feel like he's not listening to me at all. I did what I thought was right, and it simply didn't work. This happens to all of us, yet he seems to want an apology for a simple miscalculation. I need to know your opinions on this. Yes, guys, this happens to all of us.
Yeah, the classic situation.
You mean to tell me in college,
right,
you never had a little too much cherry pie?
Yeah, or
and you never
eat something you're allergic to.
You never were just like,
right,
you know, and then
right.
Yeah.
I feel like what she should have honed in on more in the story that pretty much absolves her is that she thought that she would just be shitting and farting and pooping. She said it was gastrointestinal symptoms.
She was like, I can live with
all shit.
I can live with a little fart. A shit at a dinner party with new people.
But you just go and you shit.
Well, I would say that's warrior status for sure. Like,
for sure, yeah.
What you show up to, like, a friend of yours, yes, sure, okay, I would shit at your place if I had to.
Right.
But, like, not if I knew that there were a bunch of people I had never met before.
Right.
Like, I know when to eat gluten and not.
Right. But this was an on-the-fly decision. It comes out, it's steaming hot. Amy says, I made y'all a piping hot pie. You have to make a decision on the fly. So you might not be able to have these deductive reasoning skills fast.
You're so right. Especially, like, at a little dinner party, like,
right, wine's been flowing.
I'm having a little sippy, and like, say it was me and I have a gluten allergy, and someone was like, "Yo, you like that wine? I bet you'd like some pie." And then I'm like, I did like the wine, and I probably do want the pie.
Yeah,
and I would do it. And you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay shitting blood sometimes if I have to.
Every once in a while, what's a little blood?
And I've always said that. And
especially if you're the one that's like, trust me, bitches, Amy's dessert is literally next level. Like, you guys are all gonna literally shit.
Yeah, I would feel like if the person was raving about it and then they didn't eat it, poisoned. Absolutely poisoned. I'm not eating that shit.
Why are you guys conspiring to kill me right now?
Yeah.
In overall, yeah, it's not rude to say I'm allergic to cherries, but y'all enjoy the shit out of this pie. Yeah. In a perfect world, but as a people pleaser, I fully understand risking a little diarrhea just to go,
Yeah.
But the part that would embarrass me as her husband is her falling asleep on the couch.
Yeah, I think once
I don't know.
Once your tongue gets too big to stay in your mouth,
let's leave.
It's time to go home, babe.
Let's go home.
It's like
bedtime.
It's not like, oh, that couch over there looks real nice. No, you get in your Honda Civic and you go home.
You can't let yourself me at a dinner party
because some cherry pie made you tired. Who are you? Like a grandfather?
Right. I had too much pie. My belly's full. I need a nap. But like once you feel yourself getting super sleepy, you nudge your husband and you say, let's hit the road.
Exactly.
Like, you don't get so tired and then lay down on the couch. You're going to fall asleep. Just go home.
Yeah.
And then nobody would be mad at you. And I guarantee he wouldn't have been mad at her. He was pulling up, why did you just even eat that pie if you're allergic to cherries? He was bringing that up because he was so embarrassed and mad about the falling asleep on the couch that he was pulling things out of his ass that he wouldn't otherwise. Like everything was just annoying to him in that moment.
When she says, this happens to all of us. Yes, he seems to want an apology. I don't think that this happens to all of us. I really don't.
Usually people don't willingly and knowingly eat the things they're allergic to.
Unless they think it's going to be like really good.
Right.
Or if it's like sweet treat time. Yeah, I'll do it.
She did say I needed a sweet treat. Like,
she did.
What the fuck am I supposed to do? I needed one.
After dinner. Yeah.
So fair.
I think we've touched on all we needed to say.
Yeah, I agree. She needed a sweet treat. Your Honor, she needed a sweet treat.
Okay, I think that's it. Let's wrap it there.
Yay.
Amazing.
So fun.
I'd say it was all assholes today, right?
Except for the first guy who's not an asshole for reporting his psychiatrist.
Yeah.
That put him in harm's way.
Yeah. Absolutely not the asshole on that one.
No.
All right. I do think, though, everyone in these stories could benefit from therapy. If you need a therapist, Kameron, I don't know about ethically no, I don't know. You can be.
I don't know if you listen to this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't tell me.
That's so true. Okay. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the first episode of the UnModerated Podcast, unless I change the name. I have to like live with myself every time I say the name of it.
I like
that. I have to like be okay living with it.
That's perfect. And I think your brain is huge and I love you so much.
It's swelling with information and things to say. And that's exactly why I chose reading other people's stories on Reddit instead of
this podcast is the diarrhea of your brain squirting out
the diarrhea or the diary
knowledge. Diarrhea.
Oh, okay. Yes. I do have that sometimes.
And it is squirting out of your brain because there's no more room for all the knowledge you have.
And it's coming out of my ears.
Exactly.
I need a tissue.
Oh, let me give you
some Q-tips, earplugs, anything.
One
seal
of those
it up.
Scoopers with the cameras on it.
I gotta go to the doctor for that. I have an appointment.
Okay, exciting.
6 weeks.
You'll hear from Miles.
Probably, yeah. Anyways, did I say my name at the beginning of this?
No.
Fuck. Next time. Okay.